Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday. I am the great and peaceful Mystery.
And I'm Jay.
We have to apologize because it's been an entire year since we've last talked to you. Mom always made that joke pretty much every year growing up.
The worst one is the day of New Year's Eve. Yeah, see you next year.
All right. So we're doing something special since it's the new year. We're going to review all the new species to science.
Oh, that's freaky.
From 2023.
Freaky
Some of them are
fauna.
pretty weird, and I'm going to highlight a couple of them.
All right.
I'm using an article from physics.org.
Ooh, sounds legit.
It's, aerospace. They have like all the basic branches of science. They just kind of put articles out. We've used their stuff before. Mm-hmm. But it's just kind of, they did a nice little overview of a bunch of the species discovered, and then they highlighted a couple.
Okay.
Because, once again, these are new species of science. And what happens a lot is that these are cryptic species that hide in a larger population.
Ah.
So there are species that are a close cousin that looks kind of similar enough to where most people ignore them until, a biologist or
different
botanist.
phenotypes?
No, a whole different genotype, a whole different species.
Okay.
But they look similar enough to their cousins. We talked about there's a lot of the darters, the little
Right,
fish. They
yeah.
look pretty much all the same until they go to spawn, and then they're completely different colors.
Gotcha.
So, there's a couple plants and a couple animals that have that happen to them this year, where a scientist looked at them hard enough and be like, that's not quite right.
Wait a minute.
So, right now accepted by the California Academy of Sciences, there's been 153 new animals, plants, and fungus for this year.
Oh, wow.
And as of recording this, there's still a couple days to get a couple more in. Just getting articles published and stuff like that. I'm sure there's more in the works.
Right.
I think the real number is something like 1,000
What?
are presented every year.
Oh, okay. Presented.
But it takes botanists or biologists or zoologists a lot of time to go through and verify.
Dissect the whole situation and figure it out.
Yeah, it takes a lot, especially if there's a limited number of samples.
Right.
Vouchered specimens is what it's called. Means dead animals or plants we bring back. To be like, look,
Here's
there's
a
its corpse.
Here's a vouchered specimen.
A vouchered specimen. That means a dead thing.
Yes.
Normally in formaldehyde or alcohol. Don't drink formaldehyde.
Yeah.
I had a buddy accidentally do it.
Oh, yeah, you told me that story.
He's still alive, but it was bad.
I bet.
So, of these new species, 66 of them were spiders.
Cool.
The most came from Australia, which I'm sure shocks everybody.
No surprise there.
Here's a cool one, though. I think they're all cool, but here's a really cool one. 20 of these species were sea slugs,
Neat.
which is just kind of nudibranchs and stuff like that. We've talked about several times on the show, and they're finding more and more out about them, these amazing little creatures. The next one is 18 new plants.
Oh, okay. Some freaky flora action.
Some freaky flora. That may be a special soon.
Yeah.
Freaky Flora Friday. I'm not the best botanist, but I love plants too. I'm a big gardener and stuff like that. But IDing plants sucks.
Oh yeah, I'm not very good at that.
13 new species of sea star, including our buddy, the strawberry sea star.
That's one of the new ones this year?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
From way halfway through the year, we talked about the strawberry sea star discovered in Antarctica.
So check the old, the freaky fauna backlog. Yeah. 12
species of gecko.
Oh, okay.
10 beetles. 5 fish.
Oh.
4 worms. 2 wasps. And even 1 sea snail. 1 scorpion. And 1 legless lizard.
Ooh, another legless lizard, huh?
Mm-hmm. And more than a dozen Academy scientists, along with several international collaborations, have discovered a bunch more of these new species we were talking about a second ago. So they just haven't got fully accepted yet. So that real number is probably closer to, I'm going to guess, somewhere between 500 to 1,000.
Okay.
But it takes a lot of time. Some years you see a big boom because it would just happen that we were able to verify a whole bunch of them in
real
one go.
quick. Yeah.
the verification process sometimes is like 3 or 4 times longer than actually going out and finding these new species.
It makes sense, so.
And also, this doesn't include Noah's numbers.
Noah's Ark?
No, Noah the
the NOAA.
Yeah.
Noah.
So pretty much every dive right now they're doing in the Pacific, they're finding a new species. But it's like video recording, and it takes forever to go back through and dissect a video and try to decide if it's a new species or not. Recently, I was watching one of their live streams, and they had a new species of cyanophore. And they got lucky because the cyanophore, the world's most renowned cyanophore biologist, happened to be in lab with them that day.
Oh, okay.
Which he was there often, kind of,
Sounds like a setup to me.
And he looked, and he's like, well, because they normally just take pictures and send them to him.
Yeah.
And it was like, is this a documented species? Because there's thousands of species of these things, and they all look kind of weird.
Right.
It's like, don't know what that one is.
He's just not, he's not the best cyanophore expert out there.
So, the
Sandhill crane.
Huquin Desert, I think is the name of this. The San Huquin Desert has a new endangered scorpion. So we're going to go through some of these guys. After being described 2 new to science scorpions in 2022, Academy intern Harper Forbes in Porcupine Jinin, along with Academy graduate student Jacob Goruri and curator of archaeology Lauren Istapo, PhD, have discovered a new species of scorpion that is endangered, Paleoscorpius torlia.
Oh, okay.
Thought to be thought that the species was first spotted in the Turla Basin by iNaturalist using in 2020. So you know what iNaturalist is?
iNaturalist.
Everybody at home.
I don't know.
It's a really cool app. It has some hiccups, sure, but it's an app, and you either take a picture of a plant or an animal, and it gives you like 80% it's this thing.
Okay.
5% it's this thing, and less than 1% it's this thing.
Okay.
So it doesn't. It makes mistakes. It's an app, right? It's not. There's no human behind it.
Right.
But so this scorpion was being seen in this basin, and people were using the iNaturalist app, and they were scanning it, and it was coming back as nothing. Which is normally it'll give you a Hail Mary pass on something.
Right, yeah.
And it was coming back as nothing. So that's actually how they helped discover this.
Oh, wow.
It's through an app.
That's pretty cool.
Is it kept coming up as people keep scanning this scorpion, and it comes back as nothing. Repeatedly.
Yeah.
So we had checked every plot in the area, every plot of land in the area that hadn't been developed by agricultural use yet. Unlike P. soda, which is a close cousin, so remember the big P dot and then the second name.
Okay.
Because Paleoscorpius is the family name.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the P part.
Which only occurs in very narrow patches of land in central California. We are able to identify P. torlia from 12 different sites.
Oh, cool.
So this is a California native species.
Okay.
And it immediately got endangered species status. I know we all have. Wow. California is a weird state. It's got some pretty good laws for wildlife, though.
Okay.
I will admit. They're pretty... Even our buddy, the Chinese Alps giant salamander, hasn't been proven by science, but they have laws drafted
for him
to protect them the second they get discovered.
Right.
So immediately they'll be granted endangered species status and all that, which is amazing, for an animal that's not been proven to exist. They even have some stuff in the books for Bigfoot.
So let's hope one of those gets discovered sometime soon.
It will be soon. All right. So any questions about that scorpion? Pretty much it's endangered. They're only the small basin area, which we talked about with like the Smoky Mountains dusky salamander is endangered because it's only found in one national park.
Which is, yeah.
But it's its home range. It's not that it lost all of its habitat or whatever. It's just in this valley. It's
right.
Just, it evolved separately.
Yep.
Any questions, though, for the endangered scorpion?
No, that's pretty neat. A new scorpion in the U.S., huh?
Mm-hmm. California. That's where you expect to find it, somewhere out west.
Wonder if it's poisonous or toxic.
Venomous.
Venomous, that's the word.
I don't know if any scorpions are poisonous.
Oh, that's right. Venomous. Yeah, you think this one is?
Probably.
Okay.
They didn't say. They didn't act like it was deadly lethal.
But it's probably got something.
All scorpions, I think, still have venom. But we talked about like Asian forest scorpions. Their stingers are pretty blunt. They have a hard time breaking human skin anymore.
Oh, okay.
Not saying they can't,
but
it'd be difficult.
Yeah.
All right, the legless lizard. Academy Research Associate Aaron Beer is how I'm going to say how it is, which is a killer last name, PhD. Described this. All right, I love scientific names. You know that?
Yeah, it's your favorite.
Orchitadius mokawudu.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. Close.
I think it's dead
I think
on.
you were Latin. You turned Latin when you were saying it.
My eyes started glowing red and blood came out of my ears. The legless lizard is from the sparse woodland slopes of the Sierra Nevada, the second tallest mountain range. So like other members of the skink family, this limbless lizard behaves somewhat like a snake, stealthily slithering through the leaf litter of the forest floor in search of insects and small prey animals. But unlike other related skinks, this is typically, which are typically uniform in color, these guys are distinct pinkish color around the neck, which intensely gave them their away as a new species.
Okay.
But yeah, so skinks, a lot of skinks have really like patterns and stuff like that.
Right, distinct.
Yeah, and these guys have their own very distinct pattern.
Okay.
So it's easier to tell than other things.
Did you say where this one was found?
We're of Sierra Nevada.
Sierra Nevada?
Sierra Nevada, or Dove Nevada. It's not Sierra Nevada, like the beer. It's something different.
Oh, okay.
But
it was in Nevada. Sorry.
Angolia.
Oh, it's in Angolia?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like Turkey area?
Yeah.
Oh, neat. Okay.
A lot of legless lizards over there. They used to call them glass lizards or glass snakes. Because big difference between a snake and a lizard, even a legless lizard. Most of their body is tail for a lizard. Snakes have really tiny tails.
Okay.
So even though they're long, slender beings, most of the snake's body is mostly the torso, what we would call.
Yeah.
And most of the legless lizards is tail.
Ah, okay.
So when you'd pick up these legless lizards, half their body would fall off.
Because that's their tail.
That's their tail defense. So they used to say they were made of glass because you drop them, they'd break. The tail will actually break into chunk segments.
Oh, wow.
And twitch. So they thought they were like glass.
Oh, okay. Glass snail. Or glass snail. Snake.
Glass snail. All right. Any questions about the legless lizard? And once again, these are brand new to science. Not a lot of information on them. You know, it's very...
Right, yeah.
Just getting published.
Right. Hot off the presses.
Mm-hmm. Next guy for you is Flat and Fast, the native new species of Australian spiders.
Yay. Burn it down.
Australia, I mean, there's a reason. Everything. I love that video of that crocodile eating that shark and then fighting a dingo for the leftovers. Jeez. It's like, that's the place to be.
Very Australian, yeah.
And then 80% of the middle of the country will kill you just from water.
Oh, God. Okay.
Just from you not having enough water.
Yeah. Oh, it's a desert.
I love watching like the opal hunters and stuff like that that live out the outback.
Yeah.
Like really out there, and you're like, it sucks.
How do they do it?
It really sucks. So this is from Sarah Cruz, PhD. This is her research. She added 19 new to science flatty spiders is what they're called.
Okay.
So these are like wide, flat spiders. Some of them are very large, but they are very like flat to the ground.
Okay.
Low riders.
Low rider. I'm a little spider.
Most of these spiders, you made me laugh, are from the Carpius genus.
Okay.
This year that she has discovered. Known for their incredibly fast turning speed, these small flat spiders are the fastest turning strike of any terrestrial animal on the planet.
Ooh, okay.
That means they could turn around and bite faster than anything else on the planet.
That's pretty awesome.
They can spin nearly 3,000 degrees per second.
Holy crap. That's a lot. It's like a figure skater.
So that would be roughly almost 10 times. They could spin around their whole body 10 times in a second.
Does that add up?
Roughly. It'd be like 9 1/4.
Right, yeah. Man, that's impressive.
Fast enough you can't see it.
Like I said, like a figure skater getting into a full, what are those spins called? I forget.
I don't know. Figure spins?
Sure, there you go.
We're talking about spiders.
Right, yeah.
But no, so she's done a lot of really cool work. She has a total of 53 species she's added to this genus in her lifetime of work.
Dang.
But this year was a big year for her.
Yeah, she's setting records.
And like she said, they're not necessarily uncommon. It's one of the, they were to being asked, why are you finding so many of these species?
Because she's looking for them.
She says they're not necessarily uncommon. They're just incredibly difficult to catch.
Well, yeah.
So most other researchers haven't spent the time to catch them, to ID them.
There you go. Expert. You know who she needs to hire? I bet she'll catch more.
Jimmy.
Yep.
I knew who you were going with immediately.
Mm-hmm. He's a spider catching expert.
And nothing to mention again about them being incredibly dangerous or anything like that.
The old spinner spiders.
All right, how about a plant? You want a plant?
Yes.
A new cliff-dwelling succulent. with local roots has been discovered. While a species may be new to Western science, many have existed for millennia and have long been recognized by local indigenous communities, which is the case with pretty much all of these animals.
Right, yeah.
Which we talk about on the Cryptids of Corn show all the time, is that most of the time the locals already know what's happening way before quote unquote science catches up.
A white man records it.
Mm-hmm. This year, Academy researcher, I'm going to try to say his name. It's Isaac Licher Maraca. He's a PhD.
Okay.
He working in Mexico. He just described an incredibly rare cliff-dwelling succulent, Pachydermia ovidum, in the Ceremonious Oculate mountain range.
Oh, that's where it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But the centuries people, the Odam people, and that's exactly how it's spelled.
What?
Like Odam.
Okay.
People in the nearby communities have described, going and getting this plant for some medical purposes. The native word for what they use is bald, naked, or slippery.
Okay.
Because it's a very, you know what succulents are.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very fleshy. So it doesn't have spikes. So it looks like a cactus,
but it
doesn't have spikes. So it's bald.
Oh, okay.
Or its skin is slick or naked is kind of their word for it.
Okay.
Like the naked plant, the bald plant.
Right.
But yeah, and it grows. A reason it's avoided science for so long is where it grows.
Those cliff sides?
On the face of cliffs.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Not on top, not on bottom, on cliff faces.
And people were harvesting this.
Yes. So that's pretty much all we have for that one.
That's pretty cool, though.
Mm-hmm. I just got a couple more for you, and then we'll call it end of 2023.
Yes.
The shrimp goby was hiding in plain sight. So you know what a goby is, right?
Right, little fish.
There's both freshwater and saltwater gobies.
Okay.
They look incredible. They're very diverse.
So what is a shrimp goby, like a small?
Yeah.
Is that why it's shrimp?
Yep.
Or does it look like a shrimp?
So waiting to spot a manta ray from the ocean floor, Academy researcher associate Mark Ederman, PhD, stumbled upon a new species of Lady Elliott goby. This is the worst scientific name yet.
Oh, here we go.
It has every letter of the alphabet. Tom, E, Tracius, Elliott Noesius.
Tommy Uzi. I forget what you said.
I'm not going to ever say it again the same way.
Me either.
This is a new to science shrimp goby from the Lady Elliott Islands on the Great Barrier Reef. Shrimp gobies are shallow water reef fish that inhabit the sand beds near coral reefs. They have a symbiotic relationship with snapping shrimp, the big pistol shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, these guys dig the little holes, and the shrimp live in the holes. So the goby is much better at seeing potential predators because they have giant eyes. They sit and they look.
Right, yeah.
The shrimp is much better at defense.
Okay.
So the shrimp will hit the goby, the goby will hit the shrimp with his tail and dive into the hole. The shrimp will kind of block the hole off with his big pistol claw.
Yeah.
And just sit there and wait for some predator to come by.
Huh.
So both are benefiting from this relationship.
Right.
The shrimp gets a place to live and a warning sign, and then the goby gets a good bodyguard.
Interesting.
Which is neat.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, that could be a movie in itself. Where are they in Finding Nemo?
So there was a goby, and it was the purple and yellow guy.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember what the name of that goby is called.
Me either. I know what you're talking about, though.
But he was a goby.
But we need the shrimp, counterparts, love-hate relationship.
Well, Jacques.
It's not the same, though.
He's a reef cleaner shrimp.
We need one of these guys.
Okay. So here's my last one, is a misidentified flower from Costa Rica. And this is Academy botanists realized that the common flowering plant in Costa Rica had been mistakenly categorized as a separate similar species more than 150 years ago. So this happens a lot in science that people don't realize. Another thing I think we've said on the show before, and all the shows we do, is that there's no such thing as a one mind of science.
Okay.
Science argues all the time.
Right.
You can find credible scientists pretty much for every side of every argument. Besides some of the more, I guess, speculative or more wild theories. Whether they're right or wrong doesn't matter. But
or just the ones with the mainstream narrative ideas.
Don't know what that means.
They're making stuff up. They're lying with statistics.
So basically, they discovered this species, and they're like, okay, it's this species. We already know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And then nobody looked at it for 150 years, which sounds crazy, but it happens.
Right, yeah, especially if it's common.
Yeah. Until Tom Daniel, PhD, and Ricardo Cambriel, PhD, really started looking at this and realized it was completely misidentified.
Tom and Ricardo, good job. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually more closely related to a lot of plants from Mexico. So it's just neat. It's one of these things that just happens.
Well, that's why there are some good scientists still out there.
They try their best. So that's some of the new species discovered in 2023.
Well, I can't wait to see what 2024 brings. Looks like we had a whole year of discovery ahead of us.
And also, there's a bunch of new fossil species that were discovered, like the largest animal ever. Remember the whale?
Yeah.
That maybe 1 million pounds.
Oh, the one that they found at the bottom of the bones or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ancient whale, like a blazosaur. Or it may have been up to 1 million pounds. I couldn't even imagine seeing that thing.
That'd be pretty big.
Shorter than a blue whale. Just fat.
Just a big blubbery boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I doubt it could sink. I think it was like a boat.
Just a big floating island.
Yeah. It probably had all kinds of life on its back and everything. They're probably like living reefs.
Like the turtle that has the whole island on its back.
See, that was what happened. Is they thought it was a turtle and it actually ended up being
a whale.
But we're talking like the ancient whales that looked much more reptilian.
Okay.
They had the actual like snouts and skull, like more like a crocodile snout with big teeth.
Tusks. Probably.
Different.
Beaks.
Different.
Okay. Fine.
What's your words of encouragement going into the new year?
Just 2023 is over, so forget about it, and I look forward to 2024. Just make every day the best you can that day, and what's in the past, and there's a whole year to look forward to the future. So focus on that.
That's a good one. That's good.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna let you off the hook though. I think I'm gonna make you keep telling them positive things.
Just to, sometimes.
All right. That's enough.
Brush the dirt off your shoes.
That's enough.
Pick up your your clothes off the floor and dust them off. Throw them in the washer and get a fresh new pair on. And
Happy New Year, guys.
Enjoy the day.
Hopefully you guys had a great holidays. Merry Christmas and all of that.
And say your good wishes to your close friends and family.
Always check in. Remember, we talked about it for the last couple of weeks. Always check in around the holidays on, especially more loner friends and family and stuff like that. It's a hard time of the year for some people. So just try to be that light in somebody's life.
That's right. Shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond. Great. Now we're going to get this one kicked off. I've been the great and peaceful mystery.
And I've been Jay.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.